Should we talk about Christmas or should we talk about how we lost part of the video file?
I don't want to talk about losing that video.
It's too frustrating.
Why doesn't the program have some sort of way of notifying you that your hard disk is out of space? It probably recorded for another 30 minutes after running out of room.
And that's why it wouldn't save?
Nothing would save.
So TLDR, we're missing part of that video. You still want to do a dramatic reenactment?
No.
No! So we won't talk about that. Why don't we talk about holidays and what it means to us?
In my family, every year we do the Secret Santa. We all pick names, and everybody has to make something for somebody who their name got picked, right?
Make something or buy something.
If I get their name, I feel like they expect me to be the one to make something. The number one proponent, I guess you could say, of that particular policy is my dad, who every year, the only thing he puts on his Christmas list is, I want you to make something. And it's something from the heart, something that you put a lot of work into, something that is personal and that you made, and something original or unique or whatever. It can be anything, right?
No pressure, though.
Right, no pressure. So there was the one year I decided to do a painting.
Yeah, the Lord of the Rings one?
This was actually one of the rare occasions where I actually sat down a couple of months in advance and gave myself plenty of time. This was me making up my mind to be like, okay, this year I'm going to pull it off and I'm going to do something really epic. And I finished it in 4 hours in a single sitting. Because it only took me 4 hours and I decided that I had to put X amount of work into it for it to be worthy, I ended up spending an additional almost 20 hours just wrapping the gift. And that was that year that I did that epic
the scavenger hunt.
Yeah, it started out as a box and a box and a box and a box and a box, and I got 12 boxes, and each one got more and more insulting as time went on, which, by the way, during the unwrapping ceremony was hilarious, but during the actual process of actually putting it together, I had to stage that entire thing in reverse because each box that I put in a box was going to be wrapped later. So imagine that whole thing, but backwards. There was one box where you open it up and it was literally just strips of paper, and every single piece of paper said ha 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 ha. I went into Word and typed it in ha 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 and copied and pasted it over 20 pages and actually cut strips of paper that said ha 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 and filled it inside the box like fucking confetti. There was a lot of work that went into that, and I had to plan it in my head in reverse because the packing went in the opposite order of the unwrapping. And of course, the last one was just oh, your present's in the attic, and then you go in the attic. It's no, actually, it's in the basement, and then he went in the basement. He's no, actually, it's behind this other painting. Either the second or the third year, I drew my dad.
Didn't you make a dragon?
I built a dragon out of wood. It took me probably 36 hours total to put that thing together, but it was concentrated because I was really busy at work around that time. So that was focused 36 hours in a span of 2 days. Even up until the day before Christmas, I was downstairs in the basement still cutting, still sanding, still putting pieces together. And ultimately I ran up against the time limit and I couldn't finish the tail. So I actually glued a piece of paper in the shape of a tail to the back of the dragon and wrote on that piece of paper, "Coming soon." And unfortunately never actually finished the damn thing. Why don't you talk a little bit about how you came up with the idea?
Well, I knew we were going to do something with our characters. I was kind of looking for pose references, and I found this old picture of the two of us from a couple years ago. I think that was from 5 years ago.
It was at your mom's house.
Yeah, so at least 5 years ago. But it was just a picture of the two of us, and I always really liked that picture, so I kind of based the pose on that.
You want to maybe give credit?
Of course. My mom took the picture, yes. It was a picture taken by my mom. So shout out to my mom for inspiring this card, because my mom is awesome. What are some of your favorite holiday traditions?
Almond bark.
Almond bark. I thought you were going to say mint snowballs, but almond bark is lit.
Mint snowballs are a close second.
Yes. And your mom makes those, yes?
Uh-huh.
My mom and I used to make Christmas tree ornaments out of salt dough, which was I think it was flour and water mixed with ridiculous amounts of salt. I think we still have the recipe somewhere. She got it from a magazine and she would make it every year. We would make ornaments out of that, and then we would bake them and then paint them, or sometimes we would just put food coloring in the dough and just make ornaments with different colors of dough.
So one of my favorite traditions actually is my family and I every once in a while will go out Christmas caroling. We just go door to door, sing songs.
Do people ever try to give you money?
No, but we almost always
Get the police called on you?
no, we almost always get food.
Oh yeah, food is good. When I was little, we used to go caroling with some of the neighborhood kids, and one time some guy like was on the phone and he just tried to like shove money at us and get us to leave.
That's funny.
Yeah, it was really awkward.
Yeah, we haven't had that happen to us. It's almost like Christmas themed trick or treating because almost every house that we go to, we get cookies. Like every house, somebody has Christmas cookies, and they're always like, "Please take our cookies." My favorite is when we go around the old neighborhood we used to live in because a lot of those people know my dad, and most of them will usually invite us inside and we'll sing a couple extra songs while we're in there.
For a while, I was making my own holiday cards. My paternal grandmother on my father's side that later disowned me, she was an artist, and she would make her own cards every year. She would draw them and paint them like watercolor or get them printed or something and color them in that way. And she would send them out to friends and family. I still have some of her cards somewhere, I think. Anyway, so she passed away in 2005. And I think like a year or two later in '06, I was quote unquote taking some time off college and I was trying to get more into art. And my friend Kat was sending out Christmas cards that she had made. I was like, that's so cool. That reminds me of what my grandmother used to do. I should start making my own Christmas cards and send them to my friends. I would like to hope that that is one of the aspects of my lifestyle that my late grandmother would approve of. She probably wouldn't be too thrilled with me in other ways, but maybe the Christmas card thing is anyway. Well, it's just nice to be able to have something that you made that you can give to people.
I think so.
Frosty the Snowman.
Hey, that's not okay.